Imagine getting free legal residency. Not for money, not for investment, but because of your faith. Sounds impossible? It's already happening in 7 countries right now. Most people have no idea these options exist, and some may not last long. Stay till the end because country number 3 offers something even rich investors struggle to get. Let's begin. Country number 1, Hungary. Starting strong with Hungary. Now, you might think Europe has closed its doors to immigrants, but Hungary is doing something completely different, and it's specifically for persecuted Christians. The program, Hungary's Hungary Helps program, launched in 2017, isn't just about residency. It's about survival. This program specifically targets Christians fleeing persecution in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. And here's what makes it incredible. Fast-track residency process, government F-funded housing assistance, job placement programs, full access to health care and education, path to permanent residency. Why Hungary? But why is Hungary doing this? Prime Minister Viktor Orbán has been very vocal about protecting Christian heritage in Europe. While other EU countries focus on general migration, Hungary said, "We're protecting our Christian brothers and sisters." Political maybe, but for thousands of Syrian, Iraqi, and Nigerian Christians, it's been a lifeline, the reality check. Here's the catch though. You need to prove persecution. You can't just show up. Documentation from churches, NASAs, or refugee organizations is essential, but if you qualify, Hungary will welcome you with open arms. Country number 2, Poland. Next up, Poland. And this one's personal for them. The context. Poland has a deep connection with Christian persecution. They remember what happened under communist rule when their own faith was suppressed. So when Christians in places like Syria, Iraq, and Pakistan started facing violence, Poland stepped up. Poland's residency program for persecuted Christians includes humanitarian visas specifically for religious minorities, integration programs with local Catholic communities, language and vocational training, family reunification options, direct pathway to Polish citizenship after several years. The number since 2015, Poland has accepted thousands of Christian families from Syria alone. But here's what's interesting. Unlike Western Europe, Poland's approach is community-based. Local parishes sponsor families, helping them integrate, find jobs, and rebuild their lives. The political angle. Poland's government has been criticized by the EU for its immigration stance. But they've been clear they'll prioritize Christian refugees. Love it or hate it, that's their policy. And for Christians fleeing ISIS or Boko Haram, it's been a miracle. Country number 3, Russia. Now, this one will surprise you. Russia. Yes, that Russia. The unexpected twist. While the West focuses on Russia's geopolitical conflicts, there's something happening quietly. Russia is offering simplified residency and even citizenship to Christians, especially from Western countries who feel their faith is under pressure. The program Here's what Russia offers. Fast-track residency for compatriots, including Christians sharing Orthodox values. Land grants in certain rural regions. Religious freedom guarantees, simplified citizenship process, 3 years instead of 5, tax benefits for new settlers in designated areas. Who's taking it? And you won't believe this. Americans, Canadians, and Europeans. Families who feel that Western secular culture conflicts with their traditional Christian values are actually moving to Russia. There are entire communities of American Christians now living in rural Russia. The controversy. Is this propaganda? Is Putin using this for political gain? Absolutely. But here's the thing. For conservative Christians who want to raise families in traditional environments, Russia is genuinely offering opportunities that seem impossible in the West. The reality. Now, I'm not saying Russia is perfect. Far from it. There are concerns about authoritarianism, restrictions on certain denominations, and political tensions. But if we're talking about countries offering residence to Christians, Russia's program is real. And it's active. Country number 4, Armenia. From controversy to history, Armenia, the world's first Christian nation. The heritage. Armenia became Christian in 301 AD. Yes, over 1,700 years ago, and they've never forgotten their roots. The program Armenia offers ethnic Armenian descent pathway includes Christian Armenians from diaspora, repatriation programs with financial assistance, immediate residency for Christians facing persecution, low cost of living with strong Christian community, special programs for Syrian Armenian Christians. The draw. After the Syrian civil war, Armenia opened its doors to Armenian Christians fleeing Damascus and Aleppo. But here's what's beautiful. Even non-Armenian Christians have found refuge there. The ancient monasteries, the deep-rooted faith, the community. It's like stepping back into early Christianity. The challenge, the downside: Armenia is a small country with a developing economy. Job opportunities are limited. But for retirees or remote workers seeking a peaceful Christian environment, it's paradise. Country number 5, Brazil. Crossing continents to South America, Brazil. The surprise entry. You might not expect Brazil on this list, but here's the deal. Brazil has been quietly welcoming persecuted Christians, especially from the Middle East and Africa. The program Brazil offers humanitarian visa category for religious persecution. Strong Lebanese Christian and Syrian Christian communities established over 100 years ago. Pathway to permanent residency within 2 years. Vibrant evangelical and Catholic communities. Economic opportunities in growing markets. The unique factor: what makes Brazil special? The established Middle Eastern Christian community. Cities like São Paulo have massive Lebanese Christian populations who actively help newcomers. You'll find Arabic-speaking churches, familiar foods, and instant community support. The practical side: Brazil's also practical. They need skilled workers, and Christian refugees from Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon often bring valuable business and technical skills. It's a win-win. The consideration: crime rates in major cities can be high, and the economy has its ups and downs, but for Christians seeking safety and opportunity with a familiar community, Brazil's offering something special. Country number 6, Philippines. Flying over to Asia, the Philippines, the only majority Christian nation in Asia. The context: with over 90% of the population Christian, the Philippines has a unique perspective on religious freedom and persecution. The program. The Philippines offers special resident retirees visa SRRV, affordable for Christians 35+ religious worker. Visas for missionaries and church workers, strong support for Christian refugees through church networks, English-speaking environment, huge advantage, low cost of living with tropical lifestyle, the community. What's incredible about the Philippines is the church network. Evangelical, Catholic, and Protestant communities actively support incoming Christians. You'll find churches on every corner, Christian schools, and a society where faith is openly celebrated. Who's going? American and Australian Christian retirees are discovering the Philippines. For $10,000 to $20,000 in a Philippine bank, you can get residency and live comfortably on a modest pension. The honest truth: challenges, typhoons, traffic in Manila, and some areas with security concerns, but millions of Christians call it home, and the warmth of Filipino hospitality is legendary. Country number 7, Uganda. Last, but definitely not least, Uganda. The Pearl of Africa, the surprising leader. Uganda might shock you, but it's been one of the most generous countries for Christian refugees in the world. The program Uganda offers open-door policy for refugees fleeing religious persecution, land allocation for Christian refugee communities, right to work and start businesses immediately, access to education and healthcare, strong Christian majority, 85% of population. The backstory: when South Sudan Christians fled violence. When Congolese believers escaped persecution. When Somali converts ran for their lives, Uganda welcomed them. Not just with refugee camps, but with land, work permits, and integration. The model. The UN has called Uganda's refugee model one of the most progressive in the world. Christian refugees aren't locked in camps. They're given plots of land, allowed to farm, start businesses, and build lives. The reality: is Uganda perfect? No, it's a developing nation with infrastructure challenges. But for Christians escaping death in Somalia, South Sudan, or DRC, Uganda represents hope, safety, and the ability to worship freely. So there you have it. 7 countries offering residence, safety, and new beginnings to Christians around the world. From Europe to Asia, from Russia to Africa, these nations are making bold statements about religious freedom and protection. The big picture. But here's what this really tells us about geopolitics today. First, religious persecution is real and it's growing. These programs exist because Christians in dozens of countries face violence, discrimination, and death for their faith. Second, countries are using immigration as geopolitical strategy. Hungary and Poland challenge EU policies. Russia counters Western narratives. These aren't just humanitarian programs, they're statements. Third, there's a global shift happening. While some nations embrace secularism, others are doubling down on religious identity and heritage. If you know someone facing persecution, share this video. These programs could literally save lives. If you found this valuable, smash that like button. It helps YouTube show this to more people who need to see it. And drop a comment. Which country surprised you most? Are there others we should cover? Remember, Faith isn't just personal, it's political, it's cultural, and for millions around the world, it's the difference between life and death. These 7 countries are proving that some doors are still open.